Hey y'all. Well, we made it to Friday, a couple of days before Christmas. I guess if you're watching this, we survived the shortest day of the year yesterday in the winter solstice. So I guess the daylight hours just start lengthening from here, don't they? Hope you've had a good work week. I guess some of y'all probably been off for a few days. Hopefully you're off for the weekend. Jordan and I got everything wrapped up today that we needed done. I was out here getting a few more elderberry sticks to get some rooted this weekend in the house. It's about that time to be preparing for spring. Been a little rainy, dreary today. I see the sun poked its head out right before it set, and sure is pretty to see those rays coming down through that mist. Always reminds me of hope. It's a good time of the year to focus on that. Well, this year's been one for the record books for me. I'll tell you, this isn't how I saw my Christmas going this year or this time of the year. But life throws you curveballs. Problem is, I never was really a baseball aficionado. I needed every bit of help from the pitcher to get a straight pitch to even have a chance at getting on base, much less a home run. So it was a grand slam year, but not in the good way on baseball. But we keep moving. Going to gather with a family tomorrow, see my dad. Do a little Christmas get-together tomorrow afternoon. But kids are scattered and enjoying that. Boy, they've got my grandbabies in Illinois and in South Carolina. They're at that golden magic age. I hate I'm missing it, but that's to see it in their eyes. It's a joyful thing. Hadn't really bothered me too much. I've never been a bah humbug type guy. I love this time of year, but just hadn't really gotten the overall mood. Did put up the tree. It's still standing. Had a little scare the other evening. It tipped over on me. I had to put it back up, but it's doing fine. But I stopped by one of the big box stores, a couple of them actually, this afternoon after I got done. And I was in Wally World. And I kind of hit me. I didn't expect to. I guess sometimes, not really sadness, but just melancholiness will creep up on you before you realize it. And you put it off in your head. But watching everybody moving and grooving and getting all the gifts and everything just kind of hit me a little bit in the gut. Didn't expect it. But I guess that's one of my big weaknesses. Some may argue with it, but I've always loved hard. And I mean the intense. And sometimes that'll get you hurt, but the rewards are good too. It's just you look for that love to be reciprocated. But I was thinking about that and kind of got a little down, not in the dumps, but just kind of, you know how it is, just kind of quiet. And I read something the other day that really stuck with me. Sometimes your greatest weakness could also be your greatest strength. It goes, a little Japanese boy was born with one arm, energetic little guy. He was missing his left arm, though, from birth. As he aged a little bit, he wanted to get into Judo. So he went to the Japanese old master sensei there to learn Judo. And old sensei didn't know about it, but he said, I'll give you a shot. So he showed up for his first week at the little dojo there. And the sensei taught him one move. He said, it's a rare Judo move, one of the best you can learn. So he taught it to the young man. Well, the next week come around, he was still practicing that same move. Next week. Several weeks rolled by, and the boy noticed that everybody else was learning all these other moves and really expanding their knowledge of Judo and expanding their craft. But he was still working on this one, doing it good. So he got up a little courage. He asked the sensei, said, sir, no disrespect, but why am I only learning this one move? Everybody else is learning all these other ones. He said, son, you master this one. It's the only move you need to know. And it'll prove you well in the long run. He didn't argue with the old man, and he was the sensei. So he kept on. He practiced, and he perfected that move. Months went by, and the first tournament came up, and the sensei let the boy enter. He was nervous, as he should be. Didn't know how it would go. He only knew one move. He was missing his left arm. First couple of rounds, he took the opponent out with no problem. He was proud. The third round, a little tougher, but he made it. Same with the fourth. Made it to the final round, much to his disbelief, but he was in the running for the top of the tournament. The old boy he was sparring with was much bigger, much stronger, much more seasoned than he. They went a couple of rounds and looked pretty rough for the young man. The referee was concerned. He called a timeout, consulted. He wanted to pull and make the game over so as not to hurt the young man. The sensei argued. He said, no, he's fine. Let it continue. So they did. The opponent made a mistake, dropped the defense, and the little boy applied the move that he had learned so well over the months and got a pin and took first place. They were on the way home, quiet. He was happy. And he looked at the sensei and he said, sir, how did I win that? He said, son, what you don't realize is that is one of the most rarest moves in judo that I've taught you, and you've mastered it. The good thing about it is the only defense to the move I've taught you is that the opponent must grab your left arm. He didn't have one. So therein he learned that his greatest weakness, he thought, was actually his greatest strength. I thought that pretty appropriate today, and maybe I carry love or feelings on my shoulder a little bit too much, but I'm not going to change it. Good book says love's the best of the three, isn't it? Along with hope and faith. So I'll just keep leaning on that. Goodness, we're coming right into the celebration of John 3:16, aren't we? Good Lord sent his son to die for us for our eternal life. That's some kind of love. So I guess I'll just continue to love. Right? It's hard to get into the season sometimes. And I saw another anecdote about a young mother that just exasperated, plowing through the toy store hours on end with two kids in tow, and those of certain age that's had kiddos or been around them, they want everything on the shelf and it'll wear you down. She still had dinner to cook and festivities to plan, but she made it through it, made her purchases, standing there waiting on the elevator to go down to the parking garage and get out of there and back to safety in her mind. Her mind was racing through all of the commitments and the pressure and having to go to this holiday party and that holiday party and making sure that she sent all the Christmas cards out and responding to those she forgot, and just so much pressure. It was overwhelming. The kids were crying, hungry. Rough day. Began to lose the spirit of Christmas. The elevator dinged and opened up, and as you'd know it was crowded. Hardly any room, but she squeezed in with her packages and stood there amongst everyone, and there was a lot of chatter going on, and she finally just reached a boiling point and exclaimed, I don't know who came up with this Christmas thing, but they ought to be hunted, strung up, and shot. Everybody snickered and laughed and agreed until one quiet voice from the back of the elevator said, the one that started this, we crucified him. Kind of changed the tone in that elevator a little bit. Kind of quiet the rest of the ride down. And as she rode home with her kids in the back seat, she realized that it's not about all the things that she was worried about. It's that gift of hope and love that he gave us those years ago when he sent his son. So let's celebrate that this weekend. Let's celebrate family. Hug those you love a little tighter, because we're not guaranteed the next day with those folks. As much as you love them, life changes, and you got to keep moving. Well, I've got a little gift basket to get ready for tomorrow, and elderberry stalks to cut up and get rooted. I guess we'll, me and George may order some pizza this evening. Who knows? But I'm going to miss my family and extended ones this weekend. I'll see some of them, but those grandbabies, I know I'll get pictures, and the joy on their face will make it all worthwhile. So those of you with family, enjoy it. Those without, lean on love. Remember, he's the reason, always. Well, let me do a quick little roll call, and guess I've said just about enough tonight. I got through it. I didn't know if I could, but I did. So, but I hope y'all all have a very Merry Christmas and really embrace the love and hope that this season brings. Let me see who all's on here. Y'all sound off, and I'll do a quick roll call. See if I can do it without my old glasses. I think I can. Let's see here. There's Mandy saying hello. How are you, ma'am? Good to see you on. There's Miss Maria. Hope you ain't at work. You might get in trouble. Oh, Merry Christmas to you. Let's see here. Who else is on here? Well, there's my good friend Andrew. Blessed be to all. 'Tis the season. Let's see who else. There's Susan. Good to see you too, ma'am. Thanks for tuning in to the Rambling. Melissa saying Merry Christmas, and I'm back at you. Well, I guess that'll do it for this evening. Again, y'all have a very Merry Christmas and all the blessings I could bestow to you. Good night. Be the light.